Hi guys, today I'll be playing two short games today, and the first one is called Puppy, which is about this girl named Eleanor who finds a small strange dog in a cardboard box. Well, hello there little guy. Eleanor had stopped at a cardboard box on the street as she walked home to her apartment. In the box was a small dog scrawled tightly on the front of the box with the words, "Adopt me." The dog cocked its head as she slowly reached a hand towards it. "It's okay, buddy. I'm not going to hurt you." Eleanor scratched around its neck as she suddenly felt around for a collar and found none. The dog looked too good for a complete stray. The dog's fur was soft and fluffy, and its tail loudly thumped against the box as if it was, what am I saying? The box it was in as she scratched it. "You like that, do you? Well, then have some more." Eleanor reached out her hand and scratched both sides of the puppy's face and around its head. The dog's tail happily wagged and it started trying to lick her hands before jumping out of the box into her arms. Caught off guard and losing her balance from the hunkered down position she was in, she fell backwards and was unable to stop the puppy from licking her face as she tried to pick herself up. Hey, cut that out, you little rascal," Eleanor laughed as she tried to fight off the little fluff monster and its cool nose and wet tongue attacks. Finally, righting herself, she set the puppy back in the box he had jumped out of. "Aren't you the sweetest little guy?" She looked around to see if there was someone around looking for the puppy. There's no way a little guy as well-groomed as friendly as this would just be dumped here, right? The street was empty. It was late-ish, but it only started getting dark. Eleanor watched as the street lights clicked on one by one from the far end of the street to the other. She pulled her jacket closer to her as the cold breeze blew past. Looking into the box, the puppy had obviously felt the same cold wind and curled itself into a ball and quietly started to whimper. "Aw, aren't you cold, little guy? You were so full of life a second ago. Poor thing." Well, with no tag or collar and nobody around looking for him, the chances of the little pup spending the night shivering on the streets were looking pretty high, but Eleanor wasn't about to let that happen. "Well, I can't very well leave you out here in the cold, so why don't I take you home with me? Then we could put up some posters or something just in case someone really is missing you. And a sweet little thing like you, who wouldn't want you around?" The puppy looked at her happily, its tail once again thumping loudly off the cardboard it was sitting on. "Come on, let's take you home." Eleanor bent down to pick up the puppy, and as she lifted it, the street light above them flickered. "Huh," she said, looking up at the now dark light. "Guess that one needs a replacement bulb." "All the more reason to get you home then." She spoke to the puppy as she tucked it into her jacket and held onto it. The light flickered back on as she started walking away, continuing to flicker behind them as they left it behind. Something's wrong with that puppy. Look how evil it looks. Eleanor didn't live very far away, which was lucky because by the time she reached the door, her dog-holding arm was starting to ache from the extra weight of the puppy. Phew, carrying her around is a lot more work than I was expecting. Eleanor spoke to the puppy as she set it down in front of her door. "Now don't run away on me. I just have to find my keys." She rummaged around her jacket pockets for the key to her ground floor apartment while watching the small dog sniff around her feet and the door. She watched the dog happily sniffing her boots as she reached for the keys to the door to unlock it. The key went in easily enough, but once she went to turn it, she felt something brush against her hand. Jesus Christ! Eleanor instinctively pulled back her hand, and her keys fell to the ground along with the creature that touched her. "Oh, it's just a spider. Man, that scared the shit out of me. Aren't you a big one, though? That's gotta be at least an inch across. Let me take a pic to send to Poppy." Eleanor reached into a pocket to get her phone out while keeping an eye on the spider. As she scurried around, the spider caught the attention of the puppy, who watched her closely before jumping on it and catching it under its paw. Well, with reflexes like that, if being a dog doesn't work out for you, you could always try being a cat. "Now let the poor thing go." Eleanor cut the sentence short with a gasp as the puppy proceeded to eat the spider. "Dude, that's nasty." The puppy looked up at her proudly, like he had stopped some vicious assailant from harming its new master. "Okay, I can't stay mad at that little face. It's still gross, but you did well. Good job protecting me." She pets the puppy on the head. "I hope you will always protect me." The puppy lets out a sharp bark as if to agree. "Anyways, let's get you inside. And before you go running around, we're going to give you a bath. You look clean enough, but I did just pick you off the street, and the last thing I need is you bringing fleas or something in." wouldn't usually get up so early since her work shift started later in the day, but she needed to visit the pet shop before work, so she didn't have much time in the way of food and things. Things I do for you, she sighed, handing the puppy another piece of ham which she gobbled up. After all, we can't just have you living off of leftover ham as much as you seem to enjoy it. The puppy let out a yip as if to agree. Glancing at her watch, she got up and grabbed her coat. The puppy started to whine sadly as if it knew she was leaving. Don't worry, little guy. I'm just gonna go to the pet shop and come back. It's not too far, so I should have plenty of time before I have to go to work. The puppy let out an understanding yip as she ruffled the hair on its head. Eleanor was greeted at the door by the neighbor's cat, Miss Marmalade. That cat is gonna go missing. Hey there, kitty cat. Marmalade sat in the front of the door expectantly. Sorry, Marm. I'm under strict orders not to be offering you any extra foods ever since you got your big butt stuck in the cat club. Phyllis says you've been going door to door begging for scraps after she goes to work. Marmalade started to meow in protest. Eleanor felt something bump into the back of her leg as the puppy came to see what's going on. Seeing the dog, Marmalade jumped in onto 4 legs and arched her back, hissing loudly at the dog. Come on now, Mom. It's just a little puppy. No need to get all worked up. She could hear the puppy happily panting behind her and added, see, it's very friendly. Eleanor reached down to try and calm the cat, and it swept at her, catching the back of her hand. That cat's gone. She felt the sting and looking at the back of her hand, saw a few drops of blood start to form at the edges of the scratch. The puppy started to growl at the cat, and then with a few barks, the cat took the hand and ran away. Shit, that stings, but it doesn't look too deep. Eleanor turned to the puppy who was still growling in the direction the cat ran off to. Don't worry, little buddy, I'm fine. See, it's just a scratch, she said, showing the puppy her hand. The puppy started to lick the blood off the back of her hand before she pulled her hand back. Hey, cut that out, you little scamp. Wiping saliva on the back of her trousers, she stood up. Anyways, I better be off while I still have time. You be good while I'm gone. The puppy barked happily in response, and she left. We were on before Eleanor got back with a shopping bag full of things. She had to push past the excited puppy who was trying to jump on her while she tried to enter the apartment. Alright, can you at least let me come in first? The dog barked excitedly. After finally closing the door, Eleanor turned into her apartment with horror. What have you done? There were little brown footprints leaving the little trails back and forth across the apartment floor. She took a look at the puppy who was now sported 4 little brown dirt-covered legs. The puppy looked up at her happily, seemingly unaware of the mess he had made. She went around and examined the damages. Luckily, it seemed that apart from the floor and the cushion she had laid down for the puppy as an impromptu doggy bed the night before, everything else was still clean. Okay, maybe it's not too bad, she mumbled, half expecting the whole house to be covered in mud. She walked out the back door into the garden to see the mounds of dirt the puppy had obviously been digging through. It was a small garden, fenced off, so it wasn't a huge deal the puppy had been playing out there. And she really didn't want to go into the garden much, so even the digging itself didn't bother her too much, if not for all the muddy footprints. How do you even get out here? I need to make sure I lock the door when I'm leaving. No, she buried the puppy buried the cat out there. I know. She pulled out a small paddling pool that had been propped up in the side of the shed for as long as she lived there, and she ran a hose into it, filling it up. Alright, you. I don't really care if you're playing out here, but I can't have you tracking mud all through the house. She spoke sternly, picking up the puppy before plopping it into the shallow pool. The puppy started to excitedly play with the pool water, while Eleanor focused the hose on spraying the remaining dirt off its legs. She went inside and grabbed a towel before lifting the puppy out of the pool and drying it off as much water as possible. The puppy shook its body to get rid of whatever remained. Leading the puppy back inside, Eleanor turned the key in the door and locking it behind her. She then went to her shopping and pulled out a little bowl and a can of dog food before filling the bowl and setting it out. Here you go, eat this and stay out of trouble while I mop the floor. After she finished mopping, she grabbed a dog cushion and replaced the dirty cushions and threw a handful of toys on the floor next to it. Sorry, I don't have time to play with you much as now. I spent all time cleaning and now I have to get to work. She spoke apologetically as she left the puppy, who It was now rolling around with one of the toys she had bought and happily squeaking away. By the time Eleanor returned home, it was already starting to get dark. She opened the door, praying that there wasn't going to be another repeat of this morning. "I'm home," she called out, but was surprised to not receive a response. That's strange. The apartment was eerily quiet. After removing her coat, she reached over to turn on the light and spotted the puppy. The puppy was lying on the floor with its legs in the air and its head under the sofa, sleeping soundly. Its toys were spread across the floor, but looking under the sofa, Eleanor could see that there was a ball just out of the puppy's reach. Aw, the poor guy must have fallen asleep while trying to get the ball. "Hey there, little buddy," she spoke softly, gently rubbing its belly. The puppy stirred, wiggling itself upright and moving its head from under the sofa. And realizing that Eleanor was back, it excitedly started to bark and lick and jump all over her. "Calm down there," she rubbed the dog all over. "Seems like you had a fun day. Why don't we take you for a short walk before I make myself dinner? I'm sure being cooped up here all day wasn't great." After fitting the excited animal into a cute little harness and attaching the lead, and left the apartment. "Hello, dear." Eleanor jumped a little bit at the unexpected voice behind her. She turned around to face the old lady who lived a few apartments down from her. "Oh, hi, Phyllis. What's up? Have you seen Miss Marmalade?" She's like, "God damn, I knew it. I haven't seen her all day. It's not like her to not be at home in time for dinner, you know." "Oh, I saw her this morning. She came looking for food as usual, but ran off when she saw this little guy. She got me good before she left." Eleanor glanced at the back of her hand. It still itched from where she had been scratched. I didn't realize she had a thing about dogs since she's normally so chill. Phyllis frowned. Normally she's fine with dogs. Maybe you got her in a bad mood? Maybe. Anyways, I do hope she's okay. I'll let you know if I see her around. Please do, Phyllis replied with a worried expression, and left Eleanor and the puppy standing outside the apartment. Okay, let's go for that walk. The puppy let out an excited bark and headed off into the evening. Eleanor walked down the street with the puppy in tow. Seems like it was its mission to sniff out every single spot it passed, leaving Eleanor playing hot potato with which hand was holding the lead. "You just pick a side and stick with it. We'll come back this way, so can you check out the other side of the path too?" Puppy ignored her pleas and continued his mission. Every so often, the spot would take an extra long sniff, followed by its marking next spot. "I wonder if this lady has as much trouble with her two dogs as I do with you," Eleanor remarked, spotting a lady walking two large dogs in front of her. "Why don't you stay over this side until they pass? You never know how other people's dogs are." The puppy happily wagged his tail as the other dogs came closer. However, as soon as they saw the puppy, their body language changed. Suddenly, the lady's arm was tugged forward as she struggled to hold the dogs back, and they snarled and barked at the puppy. They just knew something's wrong. "Oh, God," Eleanor exclaimed, reflexively snatching the puppy up out of reach of the other dogs. "No, Pat, stop." The lady struggled to control her dogs. I'm so sorry, she apologized, obviously flustered. Eleanor quickly walked away with the puppy in her hands, glancing behind her to see the lady dragging the dogs, who were still riled up in the opposite direction. "I swear, people shouldn't have dogs if they can't control them," Eleanor spoke loudly to herself. "That's an accident waiting to happen." "How are you holding up, though? Hopefully it wasn't too stressful facing those two big scary dogs." The puppy just quietly watched the dogs over her shoulder until they turned a corner. It wasn't long before they arrived out in an open, grassy area, and after making sure the coast was clear, Eleanor let the puppy off the leash to run around. "You go have fun, and hopefully tire yourself out." Ding! Eleanor's phone went off as she watched the puppy running around in circles. "Were you still on for tonight?" Oh shit, in the excitement of getting a new puppy, she had forgotten that she'd made plans with the guy she started seeing recently. "I'm gonna be straight with you, I totally forgot about tonight. But I got a good excuse." "Oh really? Do tell." Eleanor raised her camera and took a picture of the puppy rolling around in the grass in front of her. "I picked up a stray dog." I'm more of a cat person myself." "It's okay, all animal lovers are good in my book." "But I feel bad about blowing you off. Would you like to come over to mine instead?" "Bad idea. I've been told I make a mean." Then remembering the lack of proper ingredients in her kitchen at the moment, she added, "Takeaway order." "How could I say no to that?" "I'll bring some wine then. Just send me the address and I'll be there around 8-ish. Eleanor quickly tallied up the time it would take to get home and get ready and decided that it was just about enough time. "Sounds like a plan." "Alright, puppy, you gotta bounce. I gotta play my just in case. Eleanor winked up at the puppy, who obviously oblivious to its meaning. Eleanor and the puppy walked home briskly, with only a few sniff and marked breaks along the way. Upon arriving home and removing the harness, the puppy ran to the back door and started scratching to be let out. We could have just gone while we were out, right? Okay, I'll tell you what, she spoke, looking at her watch. You play out here for a while, and I'm going to take a shower and get ready. Eleanor grabbed the ball from the floor, and after opening the door, threw it into the yard. The puppy chased after it and started playing around with the ball. Alright, you have fun. Eleanor closed the door and left the dog to play. Ding. Eleanor's phone buzzed as she finished drying her hair with the hairdryer. I'm on my way over now, seeing you in about 20 minutes. Perfect. Eleanor looked at herself in the mirror. Look as good as you're going to at this point. She's always carrying a book. She couldn't help but get excited at the prospect of having him over. They had definitely gone well on their last few dates, and she definitely felt a spark between them. As she walked through the house doing last bit of tidying, she heard a yip and some scratching at the back door. Oh, you went back in? Eleanor opened the door and the puppy wandered in, leaving little wet footprints on the kitchen floor. Wait, why are your feet wet? Were you playing in the pool? Eleanor peeked out into the yard to see if the pool was still there where she left it, but it had already gotten so dark that it was hard to make out anything in the yard. I really need to get that backlight fixed. She said as she flicked the light switch and nothing happened. Anyways, come here and I'll dry you off. Last thing I need is you leaving wet patches everywhere. Eleanor grabbed a towel from the laundry basket and dried up the puppy, who seemed to really enjoy the attention. Okay, you should be here soon. How do I look? The puppy gave an approving bark. Thanks. Now you be a good puppy, okay? The puppy gave another approving bark. David, hi. Come on in. Eleanor invited the young man in. He had arrived exactly on time, though after a few drinks admitted that he had waited awkwardly outside for 5 minutes so he wouldn't seem too eager. So this is the cause of the change in plans. David pet the puppy behind the ears. Not that I'm complaining. I've been told she ordered a mean takeout, he said loudly enough for Eleanor to hear. Speaking of, we better order soon. I'm starving. Eleanor laughed, pulling out her phone and ordering from her favorite local place. Eleanor and David spent the evening eating food, drinking the wine, and swapping stories. After a few hours and the last drops of wine having drunk, David spoke up. Well, that's the last of the wine. I guess that's my cue. He leaned in for a goodbye kiss, and Eleanor grabbed him faithfully by the tie. What's the rush? I haven't even given you a tour. Well, I wouldn't want to miss that. David smiled as Eleanor led him to the bedroom, followed closely by the puppy who had awoken to the movement. A moment later, Eleanor returned to the hallway with the puppy in her hands. Nope, you're not invited to this particular party, I'm afraid. Don't worry. Wait up. She winked at the puppy and closed the door behind her. The puppy laid down in front of the door and quietly listened to the muffled voices in the room. Okay. Animals are so weird when they do that. It is there. Ah, gross. Eleanor awoke to the feel of wet paws in her face. Dude, why are your feet wet? She lifted the puppy off her face and looked around. A beam of light streamed in through the gap in her curtains, and she winced when it caught her eye as she moved. Feeling a slight dull thud in her head from the night flying, she grabbed her phone. It was already 11 a.m. There was no sign of David, who had spent the night. She wandered around the house looking for him, but he was gone. Did he leave already? It is pretty late, so maybe he had things to do. He could have said bye, though. Eleanor spoke her thoughts out loud to the puppy she was still carrying around. Ah, is this why your feet are wet? She exclaimed, noticing that David had left the toilet up. Right on my face. Dude, that's gross. She set the puppy down and washed her face. The puppy sat nearby, unaware that it could possibly be the cause of the fuss Eleanor was making. After getting washed up and dressed, Eleanor went to the kitchen to get some coffee, but realized they were out of milk. Can you imagine if he turned up right now with some coffee and a donut? Eleanor spoke whisperly as she checked her phone for messages. Not even a message to say you were heading out, eh? Eleanor clicked her tongue before deciding to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey David, I had fun last night, though I didn't hear you head out in the morning. Let me know when we can meet up again. Alright, well, now that I put the idea in my head that I really want that donut, Eleanor grabbed the puppy's harness and dangled it in front of the now very excited puppy. She really needs to check her backyard. Eleanor yawned as they walked along the street to the coffee shop. She was mostly running on autopilot until a piece of paper was pushed into her hands. She looked confused and started to process what the person was saying. Class, please call me if you see them around. Eleanor blinked a few times as her eyes tried to focus on the paper. It was a lost dog poster with 2 dogs on it. It was those dogs from yesterday. They were just barking. What did they do? Wait a second, Eleanor thought. I know these dogs. They were the 2 dogs that had barked at her and the puppy before. She looked at the person who handed her the poster, and it was the same lady from before. They got out of the garden somehow last night, and I haven't seen them since. The lady pleaded, please, if you see them around, just call me. My number is on the poster. I do hope you find them, Eleanor replied, putting the paper in her pocket and started to leave as the woman moved on to another passerby. They were pretty aggressive dogs, though, so I hope they don't hurt anyone, Eleanor thought to herself as she continued down the street. Man, all they did was bark at the dogs because they knew there was something wrong with them. It was already dark when Eleanor checked the messages for the umpteenth time. Still no response from David. Nothing at all, man? He's even left the messages I sent this morning I read. What a dick. Eleanor grumbled to herself as the puppy curled up in her lap. He had gotten along so well up until this point. Then they finally, was that it? Got what he wanted and then got lost? Never would have put you down as the kind of guy who would ghost. Eleanor sighed and grabbed her jacket and the puppy excitedly wagged its tail. Sorry, pup. Just want to take a walk by myself this time. Clear my head and all that. Eleanor grumbled to herself as she walked up the street. These things happen. Not everything works out. People aren't always what they seem. First seem, she told herself. It didn't help, but she was still annoyed. She tried to kick a small, round pebble down the empty street as she walked. As she tried to kick it slightly further with each kick, she could feel herself calming down. Nearing the end of the street, she looked towards the open gate to the park. There wasn't anyone around, so she took a few steps back. She was aiming for a goal with the stone that had been with her this whole journey. She ran towards the rock and threw her strongest kick. She missed, and as her leg flew up in front of her, the other leg prepared for the force to follow suit. Eleanor landed unceremoniously on her back. She tried to throw her hands behind her to stop the fall, but they didn't help. Eleanor sat on the ground for a minute before she burst out laughing. Suddenly, compared to lying in the street after a failed stone kick, her other problems seemed like less of a big deal. To hell with them, there'll be others, Eleanor told herself as she picked herself up from the ground. Ouch. Her palms stung as she rubbed the dirt and bits of stone off them. She had scraped them pretty well, but nothing a bit of disinfectant wouldn't sort out. It wasn't long before she went back home in a much better mood than she left. Hey there, puppy. Eleanor went to ruffle its fur, but it started sniffing at her hands and whining sadly. Don't worry, little buddy, just a little tumble. I'm a bit clumsy sometimes, she said reassuringly. She went to wash the remaining dirt and tiny stones out of her hands and applied disinfectant. She winced as she stung her hands. Well, aren't you the sweetest? She said, looking at the puppy, who still seemed to be sad that she had hurt herself. Eleanor yawned. It was getting late. I'll be right as rain after a good night's sleep, she said, petting the puppy as it curled up in its bed. Eleanor woke in the morning with the feeling of something sitting on her. She blinked a few times to focus her eyes. It was the puppy, of course. Good morning, little guy. I need to remember to close my door when I'm going to bed. Can't have you making a habit of this, she chuckled. Okay, let's go. I have to get up for work. She asked the puppy to move, but it didn't budge. Actually, it wasn't moving at all. Unlike its usual playful self, the puppy just sat in her chest and stared at her. You're freaking me out a little here, Eleanor laughed nervously. She tried to shift her body over enough to make the puppy jump down, but found it hard to move at all. Instead, it seemed like the puppy was getting heavier. Okay, puppy, that's enough. Get down, Eleanor spoke firmly. I can't do that, Eleanor. It talks? Oh god. Eleanor's eyes widened. Did you just... The puppy simply stared back at her. Did she imagine the voice? It didn't look like its mouth moved, so how could it speak? What are you saying, Eleanor? It's a freaking dog. That's why it can't be speaking. Her thoughts started to rush. Eleanor again tried to wriggle free, but the weight increased, seemingly pinning her under her own blanket. Get off, Eleanor shouted. I can't do that, Eleanor. The voice replied again. going on? Am I dreaming? Is this a sleep paralysis thing? You are not dreaming. What is going on? She asked, her voice shaking. I am going to protect you. Protect me? Like I protected you from the orange one and the two loud ones. The orange one? Loud ones? Eleanor was confused. Wait, does it mean Mom and those dogs that went missing? And the one that hurt you at night? Hurt me at night? What does that mean? You won't need to scream again. Oh no. That wasn't screaming. Wait, do you mean... No. No way. That wasn't... Wait, what did you do? Puppy simply stared at her. What did you do? I protected you. They will never hurt you now. Eleanor thought back to the missing animals and David's disappearance. Oh God, suddenly his not responding made sense. Oh please no. What did you do with David? Puppy didn't respond but turned its head towards the window that faced the garden. Right, it was in the garden, of course. She thought back to the dirty footprints, the wet paws after she showed the puppy how to wash the dirt off. The horror she felt continued to grow. And you. The puppy's head snapped back to face her. It seems you still need to be protected. Protected? From what? From yourself. She thought back to the night before when she had fallen, her scratched palms. But that was just... Eleanor started to explain. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Oh my God. Arnold watched in horror as the creature started to shift and change, parts of his body twisting and turning in ungodly ways. She heard the creaks and snaps of the creature bones as it reformed itself from the puppet she knew to the creature that now sat upon her. Tendrils extended from various parts of the creature's body and pinned her down, wrapping around her body. And I'm learned from others that I failed to protect. Others? What do you mean by others? Eleanor thought to herself, her mouth unable to speak the words. Did it do this to others before her? I have learned a human's greatest enemy is themselves. It wasn't until a cool, slimy tendril pushed its way into her mouth and grasped onto her tongue that she understood what I meant. There was no escape now. She couldn't move, she couldn't scream. Can't even bite her own tongue. That's it for Eleanor. Poor Eleanor. Okay, and that's the end of Puppy. I obviously saw that coming, but I didn't think the puppy would like turn on her like that. In a way, that really sucks. Well, let's just move on to the next game. Hi guys, the next game I'll be playing is called Food from a Stranger, which is about a creepy stranger that tries to give an innocent girl some candy. It's a cold and creepy night. Emily has always hated the cold. Why did it have to be so cold? Why can't it always be summer and warm? It was September, so it was obvious that it would start to get cold. Sorry, October is still in the 80s here. I hate when it's dark. It's like this, dark and cold, so creepy. A strange van approaches. Huh? Van? Could it be my... Am I getting some candy? No kid says that. I'm so excited. The stranger approaches her. Hey there, little girl. Hello, sir. What can I help you with? Tell me, girl, where are your parents? Oh, they're not here, sir. They're at work. Oh, so you're here all alone, by yourself? Don't you know it's dangerous for a little girl to be here all by herself alone? Oh, it's fine, sir. This area is very safe. It's not uncommon for children to be walking alone at night. Oh, is that so? Yes, sir. Good. Well, I have some candy. Do you want some? Yeah, I do. But of course. Who wouldn't want free food? You're right about that. Well, I'll come and take some, but I have to hurry up since my little brother is home all alone. Oh, you have a younger sibling? Yes, sir. Good. Maybe you could bring him some sweets as well. That sounds like a wonderful idea, sir. She's so eager. Yes, I just need you to tell me where you live. I'll drive you there. Okay, sir, that sounds like a wonderful idea. It's not too far from here, so it shouldn't take us long to get there. Even better. Girl can't help but show her excitement. Can't help but be happy that she's going to get a reward. The girl gets in the van and gets candy. This isn't the only candy she's getting though, there's more. They start to drive. They turn there and then there. After some time they arrive at their desired destination. Here lives my family. Oh, is that so? I told you it wasn't far away. Yes, you were right. Did your parents leave your little brother all by himself? Whispers so reckless. Huh? Oh, nothing. Okay. Well, want to go inside? I don't want to keep my little brother waiting. Okay. They get inside. It smells really nice here. Does your brother know how to cook? Oh, that's my mom making stew. What? I thought you said your parents were at work. Oh, hey, sweetie, you're home. Oh, I see you brought food. Food. What? Oh, this room is really real. Good job, daughter. You got another one. These are really easy to catch. Yes. As a reward for being a good daughter, here. Yes, my favorite candy. And this is how I get food from a stranger, owner. And... oh, that was really short. Okay, the plot twist, well, I really didn't see that coming. I guess that makes sense since she was so eager to go with the guy. I'm just gonna see what happens if I just say no. Will you take me by force, or what will happen? That's what you said. You're lucky. Let's say no, I don't. I just want candy. Oh, okay. So it's just the same outcome. I'll just have to say yes anyway. So, yeah. That's the end of that. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode today. Bye.